Hello, dear students. Welcome you all to the 21st lecture of macroeconomics. And today's topic of discussion is inflationary gap. So, in last lecture, we have learned what is inflation meaning, what are the different types of inflation, and what are the possible reasons for inflation. So, this topic is related to the previous topics only. So let's start. What is this? First of all, let's first see what is the gap actually meaning. Then one by one, the tough words, whatever are coming, I will explain you. So the inflationary gap measures the difference between the current level of real GDP and the GDP that would exist if an economy was operating at full employment. Now, in this sentence, there are two keywords, that is real GDP and GDP at full employment. So now what is real GDP? Real GDP we discussed when we was discussing GDP, and there we discussed real GDP and nominal GDP. So real GDP is the total outcome of an economy, okay, in a particular year, whatever the goods and services they are producing, economy is producing, the value of that at current prices, means existing prices. We are not taking prices from base year. Instead of that, we are calculating our GDP at current prices. That is your real GDP. And now when we are saying that GDP at full potential, so potential gross domestic production, it is basically a theoretical concept in which resources are allocated optimally with no destruction. What are the resources of production? You know very well, four factors of productions are there: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So all those resources, whatever are there, they are allocated optimally. For example, we can say every worker is matched with the perfect job of his skill level, means in whichever level he is, how much ever qualified he is, accordingly he is getting the job. And every good idea is implemented in an economy. That is the consideration under GDP at full employment. But it is difficult to measure potential GDP with accurately. And the economy rarely operates at potential GDP because of changes arises from shift to aggregate demand curves and short-term aggregate demand curves, supply curves. So the difference between the real GDP and GDP that would exist if economy was operating at the full employment level, that is called your inflationary gap. Next, inflationary gap exists when demand for goods and services exceed production. Now, what will happen? The aggregate demand will be more, but the services exceed the production due to factors such as higher level of overall employment, increased trade activities, or related government expenditure. Now, what will happen in this condition? Because we are saying that GDP would exist if the economy has full employment. So full employment condition means all the workers are getting higher wages. Okay, so higher wages means everyone have employment, higher wages. So liquidity will increase in hand of workers. Okay, so because of that, what will happen? That more trade activity, they will start spending more, the money will circulate more. But on the other hand, production side, what will happen? The producers will have less money to produce because they excess money, whatever they were having, they was giving for wages. Okay, so in that condition, demand will be more, but the production will come down, and because of that, supply will be lesser. For the gap to be considered inflationary, the real GDP must be higher than the potential GDP. Okay, so for inflationary gap, what will be the condition? The real GDP should be higher than the potential GDP. Policies that can reduce inflationary gap includes reduction in government spending, tax increase, bond and security issues, interest rate increase, and transfer payment reduction. So now, to absorb the excess liquidity, what policies can be done? So government reduction should be decreased, means that wherever the government is spending more, like whether it is welfare services or maybe payment of wages and all, so that should be reduced. Tax should be increased so that people have less money in their hands. Bonds and security issues, so that people can invest in bond and securities and their liquidity in their hands should decrease. And interest rates also increase this time so that they can not avail for easy credit. And transfer payment reduction. So these all are the measures. Now next slide we will go and we will see how through graph we can understand this thing. So here you see, we are saying that inflationary gap is when aggregate demand exceeds the production potential of the economy, means demand is more, okay, but that supply or productive potential is lesser. So in a short term, when we are saying that when everything is fine, this point is at equilibrium, but what happened, the demand exceeds, okay, so it is cutting to your short run supply at this point. So the gap between these two lines, it is called your inflationary gap. Due to limitation of economy to fulfill this increased demand, the average price level in the economy increases, resulting the inflation. Now what will happen, demand will exceed, supply will come down, automatically the prices will increase, okay. In this case, the government can use contractions, fiscal policies to control inflation and bring down to AD. What is fiscal policy? Fiscal policies are the policies adopted by government to absorb excess money from the market. So in that case, taxes are the main, taxes and government expenditure, these are the main two tools. So government will increase the tax and decrease its spending so that less money should be there in the hand of citizens, okay. So this is the major policy which government used to fight with inflationary gap. Some examples of inflationary gaps are there. So most economies experience inflationary gaps naturally as a result of boom bust cycle. We discuss in business cycle how the cycle goes up to boom and then recession start. So United States example I am taking here. In 2006, what happened? When the economy was booming, unemployment was low, wages rates was increased, and more household has disposable income than and higher purchasing power. This causes an increase in demand, but due to wages increase, business has less money for production and causes a discrepancy between higher level of demand and lower level of output, a textbook inflationary gap. So what happened? Demand increased, but supply decreased because most of the money was going for salaries, wages, okay, but less money was there to increase the production. So because of that, inflationary gap exists. So this is all for today's lecture. We discussed about inflationary gap and how it emerged. If you have any confusion, you can ping me on WhatsApp. I will solve your query there. Thank you so much for watching the video.